visit Byrna Leeward today. Stop and ask questions and let our team get you set up the right way. Byrna Leeward, locally owned veteran. Less lethal protection for Hawai. Call us today at 808-289-887 or come by 984-216 Farrington Hwy.
Are your balls dropping? Out of your Mission 4 and TCR? Don't worry, happens to everybody. In this video, we'll talk about why.
A tool is only as good as your ability to use it. So train early and train often. It's time to punch the clock.
One of the things that make the Mission 4 and the TCR so versatile is that both keep a second magazine within easy reach on the launcher. While this not only provides additional ammo, it gives the shooter the ability to keep a different type of round in that second magazine. Should the situation call for a round type switch, all the shooter has to do is eject their first magazine. The launcher will then clear itself of any remaining rounds in the chamber by ejecting those rounds through the magazine well. This allows you to insert another magazine that may have different rounds that will then be immediately available for use without the shooter having to manually clear the previous rounds out of the chamber. In a training environment, if you're concerned with the rounds possibly breaking on a hard surface, just place a towel or cloth on a table and allow the rounds to fall onto it. Now get out there and train early and train often so that the time comes, you are prepared to defend. In today's pro tip, we're going back to basics, talking about proper grip.
A tool is only as good as your ability to use it. So train early and train often. It's time to punch the clock.
One of the most important fundamentals to effectively deploying our Byrna SD and any handgun alike is our grip. The goal of our grip should be to cover as much surface area on the weapon as we can with our hands. We are going to start by taking our dominant hand, in this case Lark's right hand, and placing the webbing of her hand as high up on the backstrap as possible before wrapping her fingers around the grip. It's also important to assure that during this process, we are constantly indexing our finger along the side of the weapon. Next, we're going to take our support hand, in her case her left hand, and try to fill the gap on the grip made by our dominant hand with our fingers over the fingers of her strong hand. Her thumb should be resting along the side of the weapon, and the backs of her hands should be touching on the backstrap of the launcher. We shouldn't see the thumbs crossed on the back of the launcher, and we shouldn't see the support hand teacupping the bottom of the grip. Neither of these grips will give you nearly as much control or stability. Stay tuned for more Byrna basic tips so that if the time comes, you are prepared to defend. The Byrna kinetic projectile is one of the most versatile tools in the Byrna family of rounds. Not only is it an amazing self-defense round if you're not looking to use chemical irritant, but due to its solid polymer design, the kinetic round has proven to penetrate tinted vehicle glass and building windows. Even if you're not looking to break out of a sticky situation, the Byrna kinetic projectile is a great training round for shooting bottles or any other reactive targets in your own backyard. The Byrna kinetic projectile is not just one of the most versatile rounds out there, but it's also extremely affordable and reusable, allowing you to increase the flexibility and frequency of your training. So until next time, live safe.
A tool is only as good as your ability to use it. So train early and train often. It's time to punch the clock.
Byrna's 12-gauge kinetic rounds were designed to be fired out of a shotgun that would normally launch lethal buckshot rounds at speeds of over 1,500 feet per second. So it's important to understand that there's going to be trajectory differences between those rounds and Byrna's less lethal rounds. This is most noticeable when we start reaching distances beyond 50 feet. While every shotgun will be a little different, this can easily be compensated by aiming at the top of the torso when we know that we're engaging at those greater distances. Even at distances out to 75 feet, your point of aim, point of impact shift shouldn't be more than 8 to 12 inches, meaning that just a slight adjustment can easily keep you on target. So get out there and see just exactly what your drop compensation is, so that the time comes, you are prepared to defend. So you've finally gotten the new Byrna Kinetic 12-gauge less lethal rounds in hand. Now what do you do?
A tool is only as good as your ability to use it. So train early and train often. It's time to punch the clock.
For me, I'll never run a new type of round through a gun without shooting it first. So I would run a box of these through your shotgun to assure that it's compatible and so that I understand its performance. If you're using these for home defense, a good place to start is to measure the longest distance that you would find inside your home, say down a long hallway or from your front door to the sidewalk. This is then a maximum realistic range that you may have to operationally deploy these rounds. When you're ready to train, start with some distances between 5 and 7 yards and then work your way back out to this maximum range. This way, you have an exact idea of how the 12-gauge less lethal round is going to perform at that maximum distance. The bottom line is get out there and train early and train often so that if the time comes, you are prepared to defend. In this tip video, we're going to talk about loadout options for Byrna's new 12-gauge kinetic less lethal rounds.
A tool is only as good as your ability to use it. So train early and train often. It's time to punch the clock.
One of the great things about Byrna's new 12-gauge kinetic less lethal rounds is the ability to utilize the same weapons platform for both lethal and less lethal response. While we never advocate mixing both lethal and less lethal rounds inside the magazine of the shotgun, having one type of round loaded in the magazine and another type, say, on a side saddle or other carrying device, means that you now have options for how to respond to different types of threats. Even with shells in the magazine, sliding the forend back to partially open the chamber allows you to place a round directly in the chamber, bypassing the magazine. The key to being proficient with this is continual training. So get out there and train early and train often so that if the time comes, you are prepared to defend.
A tool is only as good as your ability to use it. So train early and train often. It's time to punch the clock.
On today's Byrna Pro Tip, let's discuss projectile loadout options. Having a magazine allows you to load your projectiles in a predictable pattern based on what you believe your most likely encounter might be. An example of this is, personally, I load my mag so that the first 2 rounds out of the launcher are kinetic, and then the rest are Byrna Max rounds. Kinetic rounds not only break glass, but are a great direct impact round to use as a first step to deter a threat before you release any chemical agent. Stay tuned for more Byrna Pro tips to make sure you are prepared to defend. This last year, Byrna Nation has spoken and we have listened. So this year, Byrna is debuting a new array of handheld pistol launchers to fit the various needs of our vast user base. For those looking for an affordable way to get that Byrna level of protection, the first launcher in this array is the all-new Byrna Essential Pistol, or EP, which is everything you loved about our Byrna SD at a price of under $300. The EP still utilizes the same pull-pierce technology Byrna is known for, but has removed the external safety and included a 5-round magazine to make it the most affordable launcher Byrna has ever offered. The better option in this array is Byrna's best-selling launcher, the Byrna SD. The SD was released at the end of 2021 and has been our most popular launcher to date. So the SD will continue to serve as a great go-to handheld less lethal launcher, but now at a reduced price. And for those of you looking for more power, you asked and we delivered. The best option in our handheld launcher array is the all-new Byrna LE, a launcher built for professionals that's now available to the public. The LE uses the popular 12-gram CO2 cartridge to launch a .68 caliber round at speeds of over 340 feet per second, making it the most powerful launcher in the Byrna arsenal. The LE also comes with new high visibility bright white sights and a completely redesigned trigger that's lighter weight than most semi-automatic pistols. The LE also comes with 2 of Byrna's all-new 7-round magazines, making it the most capable, less lethal launcher for self-defense. With Byrna's all-new array of handheld launchers, you not only have more less lethal force options, you now have a good, better, and the best option to make sure that if the time comes, you are prepared to defend.
Visit Byrna Leeward today. Stop and ask questions and let our team get you set up the right way. Byrna Leeward, locally owned veteran. Less lethal protection for Hawai. Call us today at 808-289-8870 or come by 984-216 Farrington Hwy.
This summer, it's time to leave those boring backyard games behind and let Byrna's full-size target tent spice up that barbecue by taking your training and your fun to a whole new level. So before you host that next garden soiree, make sure you pick up some sunscreen and some eye pro for those guests, so you all can train early, train often, and have fun with it. So if the time comes, you are prepared to have a blast.
Hi, my name is Josh with Byrna, and this is the product breakdown for the all-new EP launcher. Byrna's Essential Pistol provides users with a no-frills, all-business self-defense tool at the most affordable price of any of Byrna's 68 caliber launchers. Utilizing the same form factor and pull-pierce technology as the popular SD handheld launcher, the EP is powered by an 8-gram CO2 cartridge and can utilize the legacy 5-round magazines or the all-new 7-round 68 caliber mags. The EP still allows shooters to fire 20 rounds per cartridge and is effective at distances of up to 60 feet. Unlike the other handheld launchers in the Byrna lineup, the EP will not have a selectable external safety, which leaves the launcher in an indefinite fire mode. Byrna's Essential Pistol will come with 1 5-round magazine, an 8-gram CO2 cartridge, and 5 rounds of the Byrna kinetic projectiles. As the most affordable launcher in Byrna's arsenal, the EP will allow more people access to tools to assure that if the time comes, they are prepared to defend.
A tool is only as good as your ability to use it. So train early and train often. It's time to punch the clock.
To charge the Byrna, first assure that you're using the appropriate 8-gram or 12-gram Byrna CO2 cartridge. Unscrew the CO2 end cap utilizing the hex head on the magazine base plate if necessary. Insert the Byrna CO2 cartridge into the chamber neck first and replace the CO2 end cap. When screwing the end cap back in place, use the hex head to tighten the end cap. Once you feel resistance, continue turning for another quarter turn. Take care to not over-tighten the CO2 end cap. At this point, the Byrna is charged, but the CO2 remains unpierced, allowing it to be carried in this manner almost indefinitely. From this state, to fire the Byrna, simply switch the safety from safe to fire and pull the trigger. The first pull of the trigger will simultaneously pierce the CO2 cartridge and fire the first round.
One of the great aspects of the Byrna line of launchers, including the Mission 4, is the flexibility they provide in allowing you to train. Not only can you step out into your backyard and start engaging targets at a moment's notice, but due to both the SD and Mission 4's similar manual of arms to their firearm counterparts, teaching new shooters the basic fundamentals of shooting has never been easier. With no recoil, no loud report, or the stress of a busy range to worry about, novice shooters and kids can learn to handle weapons in a safe and effective environment, all from the comfort of their backyard. At the end of the day, the tool you choose for self-defense is only as good as your ability to proficiently deploy it.
frequent and directed training is the backbone of providing a safe environment for you and your family.
While the Byrna launchers represent the leading option in less lethal self-defense, this platform goes much further than that, allowing you to train, teach, and be confident knowing that if the time comes, you'll be prepared to defend. So how well do you really know your Byrnas? I mean, really know. Well, let's see if you know these 5 Byrna pro tips about your Byrna handheld launchers. One of the greatest features of the Byrna launchers is the pull pierce technology that allows a CO2 cartridge to sit in the launcher unpierced until you pull the trigger, simultaneously piercing the CO2 and firing the first round. But this does come at a cost of some velocity on that first round. So if you know that you're about to engage someone and have an extra second to respond, you can make sure that first round is at full strength by leaving the launcher on safe and pulling the trigger. This will puncture the cartridge and charge the system, meaning that first round you shoot will pack the most punch. Look, I've seen how some of y'all are seating that magazine in the launcher. Stop it. I know that the Byrna handheld launchers look and function a lot like a semi-automatic pistol, but this is not a contest to see who can seat the mag in harder. Just slide the mag in until it clicks, and you're good. So you've treated your loaded launcher with, I'm sure, the utmost care. But somehow a chemical round has broken inside the launcher. First of all, don't panic. Just gently eject the magazine over a container and then place the launcher in water to wash off the remaining powder. Just make sure you place the launcher in a warm place to fully dry. And throw a little oil down the valve as per the maintenance instructions. Since their launch, the kinetic rounds have been extremely popular due to the fact that they are inexpensive and great for training anywhere. Just remember that these are not intended to be left in the launcher. They are made of a coated powder, and if left out in a humid environment, they will disintegrate within just a matter of a few days. This will inevitably leave residue in your launcher. But if this does happen, see tip number 3. I get it. We all want to stretch our dollar. I mean, you can just cut the moldy part off the cheese, right? But stop saving your pierced cartridges for later by leaving them in the launcher because you only shot 5 rounds. Your launchers will last a lot longer if they are not constantly left under pressure for extended periods of time, and you won't wonder if your CO2 is still good when you actually have to use your launcher to defend yourself. They cost less than $1. How much is that coffee you just bought? Yeah, about 8 CO2 cartridges worth. I thought so. So I hope you have all learned something today about your Byrna launchers, but I would love to hear about any tips and tricks you all have in the comments below. So as one Byrna Nation, let's make sure that we are all prepared to defend.
Visit Byrna Leeward today. Stop and ask questions and let our team get you set up the right way. Byrna Leeward, locally owned veteran. Less lethal protection for Hawai. Call us today at 808-289-8870 or come by 984-216 Farrington Hwy.
As those warmer temperatures approach quickly, so does that summer travel season. So I'm coming to you here from the most popular beach destination in America, Panama City, Florida, to bring you the top 5 Byrna tips for your summer vacation. If you're one of the 208 million Americans that will be road tripping this summer, make sure the launcher is accessible from your seat, not stowed in the trunk or in a bag in a back seat. If a threat presents itself, it will rarely give you time to run to the trunk or rummage around your luggage. While in your car, keep your Byrna concealed. While Byrna launchers are legal in all 50 states, overtly displaying the launcher may very well cause some undue attention and spoil that vacation early. Or maybe you're one of the 134 million Americans that are flying commercial to your destination this summer. In that case, your Byrna launcher can come along with you in your checked baggage, along with any type of Byrna projectiles, and they do not need to be declared like firearms do. While the FAA technically allows CO2 cartridges on commercial flights, the TSA does have some policies in place that may prohibit them. So if you're carrying an SD, think about dropping a couple of 8-gram CO2 cartridges in the mail to meet you at your final destination. Or if you're carrying a Byrna LE, you are likely to be able to grab some 12-gram CO2 cartridges at any sporting goods, hardware, or big box store after arriving. Remember, on vacation, we tend to dress very differently than in our normal lives. So think about how you're going to carry your launcher while on holiday. If you're going to be spending a week in a bathing suit, make sure to bring along a sling bag or waist pack to carry your launcher in. Remember, the best defense is avoiding the problem altogether. But just in case that isn't an option, with these tips and a Byrna as your travel companion, I'm sure that if the time comes, you'll be prepared to defend. One of the many great aspects about the Byrna is that because it requires no permits or licenses to own, traveling with it throughout the US is exceptionally easy. Here at Byrna, we are always traveling, and of course, we're always bringing launchers with us. So today, we're headed back to Houston, Texas, and wanted to bring you guys along to give you some tips and to show you just how easy it is to fly with your Byrna. So when it comes to packing your Byrna launcher, while having a big, padded, and ultra-protected case is nice, it's really not necessary. Since it's not classified as a firearm, there is no requirement to pack the Byrna in your luggage in a certain manner or even in a case. However, it is good practice to make sure that your Byrna is somewhat protected and isn't just rattling around a big piece of luggage. That could mean just using a cheaper handgun case or just keeping it in a holster and putting it in a dedicated pocket in your luggage. To demonstrate this for today's trip, I'll be utilizing this nylon holster and putting it in this pocket here in my checked bag. Where you carry your rounds is also not regulated, so you can choose to leave them in the magazine of your Byrna. However, personally, I like to put them back in their original tubes and place them in a more protected area of the bag. If your luggage doesn't have pockets, like in this one I have here, I will often choose to stick the tube inside a roll of socks just to give it a little more padding in case the bag gets knocked around in transit. The CO2 cartridges for your Byrna are regulated, however, but according to the FAA, you may carry up to 4 cartridges of compressed non-flammable gas, like CO2, inside of your checked baggage. It's also best practice not to carry these in the launcher themselves, but to keep them in a more protected area of your bag. So now that we are all packed up, it's time to get to the airport. So we're gonna stop here just to see, open this up, show you. Right after we come from baggage claim. And there it is. Oh, look at this. TSA even inspected the bag. And the Byrna is obviously still in here. So obviously it's good to go. TSA saw it, said, hey, it's cool, it's in here, we're good to go. We're back in Houston. Just remember that it's always a good idea to consult the rules and regulations for the specific airline that you're flying before your trip. But hopefully this video will make you a little bit more comfortable about traveling with your Byrna. So until next time, live safe. So what do you keep in your EDC sling bag? The EDC sling bag is my go-to for carrying my Byrna SD every day, but that is by far all that it carries. These sling bags can carry more than you think and are great for everything from med kits to job-specific task bags like flight bags for pilots or accessory bags for videographers. Here's what goes in mine.
So let's see exactly what we keep in my bag. On the outside, we have some trauma shears for cutting and a pocket knife for some quick access utility. On this very outside pocket, I always have some cordage with me. As we open this up, I have, of course, an extra Byrna magazine, and then a backup battery and cord, and then a flashlight and lip balm. So in the front pocket of the main compartment, I have some field notes, and a pen, a quick access tourniquet, some quick access gauze, and then if that's not enough for medical, I do keep a sealed and sterile stop the bleed kit. And then this waterproof box here that has a bunch of different things in it, including batteries, there's a lighter in there, some band-aids, some meds, and then on the back of the bag is where I keep my Byrna in this pocket back here, but it allows me very quick access to get good purchase on the Byrna should I need to deploy it. So what am I forgetting? I want to know what you all keep in your everyday carry bags. Let me know in the comments below so that when the time comes, I am prepared to defend. Byrna's new array of handheld launchers now gives you even more options to make sure you are prepared to defend better than ever before. But some of you may be asking, so which launcher is right for me? The EP, the SD, or the LE? Byrna's Essential Pistol, the EP, are for those looking for the most affordable option in our lineup, coming in at under $300 without sacrificing capability. The EP functions just like the popular SD launcher and even uses the same 8-gram CO2 and magazines. By removing the external safety though, the EP also comes in as the slimmest launcher in the lineup for those concerned with concealability. So if you are looking for the most affordable option, prefer not to have an external safety, and you're not concerned with including a bunch of extras in the kit, then the EP is a good option for you. Byrna's SD has been the flagship launcher for the last 2 years and has been wildly popular. Using 8-gram CO2 cartridges that remain unpierced in the launcher until the trigger is pulled, the SD is effective at over 60 feet and can fire 20 rounds per cartridge. The presence of an external safety on the launcher also means that the CO2 cartridge can be pre-punctured while the weapon is on safe, allowing for an additional increase of velocity on that first shot. So if you're looking for Byrna's most popular launcher ever, you like the additional security of an external safety, and you want to make sure that your kit comes with everything you need to get started, including 2 magazines, CO2, and the operational rounds of your choice, then the SD is going to be your better choice. And finally, the Byrna LE is a ground-up redesign for those looking for the most powerful launcher Byrna's ever produced. The Byrna LE contains a completely redesigned valve and trigger assembly, allowing it to fire rounds at an average of over 340 feet per second, a 75 feet per second increase from previous launchers. With the addition of upgraded high visibility white sights and the inclusion of 7-round magazines, the LE is the most capable launcher in the lineup. So if you are looking for the most powerful Byrna launcher ever produced, with the fastest velocity, the most stopping power, the best sights, the smoothest and lightest trigger, the highest capacity with 2 7-round mags included, and the best overall shooting experience, then the LE is the obvious best option for you. So now that you understand the good, better, and best options in Byrna's new handheld launcher lineup, the only thing left is for you to choose which option will best make sure that when the time comes, you are prepared to defend.
So it looks like I've just been pulled over by the police and I have a Byrna in my car. Now what? Okay, so I may have been going slightly over the speed limit.
Morning. License and registration.
Of course. Here you go. Sir?
Thank you. Have I stopped you before?
And now the officer is at my window and I'm carrying a Byrna in the car. Am I legally required, or should I even say anything about it to the officer? So it's important that we listen to the exact question that the officer asks.
Sir, do you have any firearms in the vehicle?
You see, here the officer asks if I have any firearms in the vehicle. And because none of the Byrna launchers are considered firearms, I could say this. No, sir, no firearms in the vehicle. But what if the officer asks this?
Sir, do you have any weapons in the car?
So while the legality of having to answer a question like this will vary region by region, In the vast majority of cases, it's unlikely to have a negative impact if you answer the officer's question like this. Actually, yes, sir, I have a less lethal Byrna launcher in my center console. So the key here is not to reach for it. I sure do, you wanna see? In my time as a police officer, I can't tell you how many times people were just itching to show me their gun that they kept in the center console or the glove box. And as you can imagine, this sent the traffic stop in a whole new direction. Just keep your hands in view on the steering wheel during the entire encounter, and you're most likely to hear this.
Okay, no issues. Just keep your hands on the steering wheel, and I'll be right back.
And he'll continue with the traffic stop as planned. It's important to understand that more officers are ambushed and killed around the country in traffic stops than any other activity. So the more comfortable you make them feel, the more positive encounter you're likely to have.
Here you go, sir. Thanks for your cooperation. Watch that speed. Drive safe for me.
Since burners are legal in all 50 states, it's unlikely that having one in the car will alter the trajectory of a traffic stop. But having one in the car will definitely make sure that when the time comes, you are prepared to defend.
If you don't have the ability to defend yourself, not only from an abuser, not only from a criminal, but from a justice system that may see you as a defendant and put you in jail for protecting yourself, then, I mean, we're lost. And so you've got to be able to defend yourself. And that's why I think the Byrna is so important. That's who I am. That's what my career has been about. And I spent over 3 decades as a prosecutor, a judge, and a DA. So, I mean, the Byrna is a protector. It protects the person shooting by protecting you from an unfair criminal justice system, and it protects you from shooting and killing someone you don't want to kill, and it immobilizes someone who's coming for you when the police can't protect you.
As a proud American who believes in the Second Amendment, who carries a gun, the right to protect myself and my family from harm is my right, and it's your right. And it's not only our right, it's our responsibility. But not every situation calls for deadly force. And once you've taken the step of firing a gun at somebody, you can't take that bullet back. The solution may be the Byrna launcher. I carry both. It's a non-lethal alternative to safeguarding your home that will teach somebody a very painful but non-lethal lesson. It's legal in all 50 states. You don't need a permit or background checks. Used by everybody of all ages over 18. It has powerful deterrence, not like pepper spray. It has tear gas and kinetic rounds with a 60-foot range. One shot can incapacitate an attacker for up to 40 minutes.
I mean, it's not lethal force. It's the next best thing. And certainly as a first step, you fire your gun, God help you. Unless it's absolutely cut and dry, you're still going to go through court. In some states, your life is destroyed, just destroyed. And you'd be destroyed anyway if you shot somebody and killed them, you know, and you were mistaken.
As a very young kid, my mom instilled in me the sense that we had to take care of people who couldn't take care of themselves. Whether it was a senior citizen or whether it was, you know, even at an ice cream parlor, making sure that I stood up so a senior citizen could sit down. The elderly who end up being killed by people who want money and no one hears them, they're silent. That's who I am. That's what my career has been about. And I spent over 3 decades as a prosecutor, a judge, and a DA. We were always trying to give some layer of protection to people who are vulnerable. Seniors are vulnerable, women are vulnerable, children are vulnerable. And so that was my passion. And I continue with that passion in trying to make sure that we recognize it and not just, you know, push it under the rug that we've done so much in our society. The reason I wanted to partner with Byrna is because to me, it's kind of a middle ground for the people who don't want to, you know, go and get a real gun, which is really serious business. Make no mistake, the Byrna is serious as it relates to you and an intruder or someone who's coming after you. But, you know, it's easy, it's fun, it's light, you don't feel the pressure. When I have a real gun in my hand, I know that's lethal. I know that's a killer. I know there's more on the line than just the person at the other end. There's me and my accountability. With the Byrna, and I'm telling all my girlfriends about it, and they're interested. With the Byrna, it's lighter, it's more accessible, it's easier to shoot. There's none of the other things that go along with it. I think this is the perfect gun for people who are afraid to actually get a real gun. And if people like me have real guns, it's kind of a middle ground when I don't think I need lethal force.
In an era of escalating social unrest, rising crime rates, safeguarding your family has never been more critical. Now introducing the Byrna, the less lethal pistol launcher. It's a non-lethal defense option. Now it's developed by common sense gun owners who value the power of choice. This device enables you to de-escalate dangerous situations effectively without the finality of lethal force. Byrna offers a safer, sensible alternative that can save lives on both ends and protecting the user, delivering formidable stopping power to deter any aggressor. The Byrna is ideal for those wary of traditional firearms. It provides an effective self-defense tool without deadly consequences. It's legal in all 50 states, no background check or permit required. It can be shipped directly to your door. It is an essential tool for responsible, non-lethal protection. Byrna, byrna.com/Hannity. You also get 10% off any purchase. Stay safe with Byrna, where smart defense meets innovation.
You know, I started one of the first of 4, and the only one that lasted, domestic violence prosecution unit in the nation as a young prosecutor, when it was not a crime in most states to beat your wife. You could shoot, stab, beat, or brutalize her, but unless you killed her, it wasn't a crime. And today, I see the same issues arising over and over again, where a woman is afraid, she is being stalked, she's not physically at the same level as a man, and she needs to defend herself. How can she defend herself? Is she going to use force that is beyond what the law sees as what she's entitled to use? Will she end up being convicted of murder if she kills him when he was only, quote, beating her? And for many women, the only way to defend themselves is through something that's less lethal than a gun, but what stops him and gives the police the opportunity to arrest him. Well, the Byrna is phenomenal, because what the Byrna does is, if a battered woman uses that, if a senior citizen uses that, I mean, she's starting to, number one, level the playing field, God bless them for that, but she is saving herself ultimately from a crime or a charge that would be based upon, if she used a real gun, that would be based upon the laws that won't protect her, but more importantly, she will be immobilizing the abuser or the criminal. And that gives her the ability to call the police, to get away, to protect herself, and not suffer the casualty, actually, of being the defendant in a murder case.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands now! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Hands up!
Fox News host and best-selling author Sean Hannity understands the importance of having force options available to you, whether you're out in public or in the sanctity of your own home. The Byrna 12-gauge kinetic rounds have revolutionized the less lethal market by providing you a highly effective force option used in a weapons platform that you probably already have. Instructors with Byrna's law enforcement division have recently teamed up with Sean to show him how to effectively utilize this 12-gauge less lethal force option to give him a tactical advantage against intruders. In this session, our instructors drilled Sean on the basics of clearing corners and threshold evaluations, which are 2 fundamental skills to clearing a structure like your house.
All right, so we just finished our Byrna training. I'm a student, so I learn, and today was a day of learning for me. I thought I knew some things. I learned a lot more today.
Absolutely.
That was the best part of it. I mean, if you go for that lethal option, it comes with so many complications.
Yep.
And as part of my personal security strategy, which is extensive, I now love the option, and I practice with both options. If I can, I will use the non-lethal option first every time.
Every time.
Ask yourself, all of you at home, ask yourself, what are you going to do?
Yep.
The moment, God forbid, and I mean that, somebody breaks into your home and wants to bring harm to you and your family. What is your solution? What is your plan?
That's right.
Please have a plan.